Alright, we're back. So we're poking around parts of the wedding dress here for the glory of God the Father and Jesus Christ. Very amazing, amazing stuff. Okay. So, let's see. Oh my. Okay, well there's a lot to... Skirt is Christ, we know that. Neckline is on top. That's an obvious +1 for Father. Let's see. So, neckline. So neckline equals number. So that's a good word for Father being on top. And you can pop off the 15 and the rest equals Father. Okay. And then you can say the neckline. That's pretty obvious. What other? This is going to be a while here. Let's see. Let's see. I want to get the terms here. Oops. So bust parallels Christ, of course. Let's just start getting some of the terms on the table. Bust is obviously Christ, minus 15. Hips, low hip. Oh, the hem. Waist to hem. So hem is very tidy for Christ. Let's see what else we find. Oh boy. This may have been the best document with terms in it. I'm just going to keep making sure my uploads are being taken care of. What are the parts? We just did a number. We'll just see what we find here. Okay. So the word train is flawless for Christ. Oh, the different types of train. Chapel train, court train, brush train. The train. So the train of his robe. So there's another. So robe goes to Father. Train goes to Christ. You can also say the train typically follows from the shoulders. So shoulders is Father, train is Christ, which is pretty cool. Put the two together, 102. That's really beautiful. Shoulders plus train. That is triply chain linked, bookended, and then all this is 60 beautiful sixes in there. So, yeah, that's a glaring combination, shoulders plus train. But Father's on top, so Father gets shoulders, and then train goes to Christ. It's very beautiful. So I think that's a lovely combination to make when talking about a wedding dress, or any robe in particular. You have the shoulders and then the train. Oh, what else will we solve here? The bodice plus the neckline, or the bust plus the neckline, is a Christ Father combo with the neckline being on top. So we get the neckline on top, bodice underneath. You can also do this, so neckline. Let's just see what these combos yield. That's very glaring. 111. There, that equals Father plus Christ. So bust plus neckline. So Father's on top. But this equals the famous Father plus Christ. Bang on the nose. Love plus half a love. Amazing. Oh my gosh. So this is another one that really hits it home to you. Father Christ combo here. Okay. So neckline is plus 15. And bust is minus 15. From Christ. So there you go. Neckline plus bust equals Father plus Christ. That's huge. Wow. That's glaring. So neckline plus bust is Father plus Christ. Father's on top with neckline. And then neckline plus bodice, which also works, but I don't think that word probably gets used quite as much, but it does make a lovely three-fest as always when you put Father and when you tie these together, like I would tie them together just like that. Oops, that's fine though. That's really awesome. Neckline plus bust. That's glaring. Minus 15 from Father. And plus 15. So neckline plus bust equals Father plus Christ. So Father's on top. Now silhouette, just like skirt, just like bodice, is also Christ. Silhouette. So I guess okay, so the silhouette plus the neckline is another Christ-Father combo. Silhouette, I believe that's how it's spelled. Silhouette. Is 34 plus 23 plus 57. Let's just see what happens. Neckline plus silhouette. Wow, that's disturbing. That equals 9 times the 9th prime, and then letters and strokes divided by 3. Pretty awesome Father Christ combo. Let's see what else there is in this. Different fabrics is crazy, but wow, you can get into the deeper terminologies. Ay, ay, ay. The train. Boy, this is stuff that I'm unfamiliar with. But we got some good gems already. Oh boy. I'll just see if I can get some other words. Yeah, so neckline, flower on top, we know that. Veil. So gown and dress are both Christ. Oh yeah, we should try that. Pants and gown. So gown is Christ minus 18. That's glaring too. So when you go to a party and the guys wear pants and the girl has a gown, this is Christ minus 18. And then the pants is plus 12 for Father. Okay. So Father plus Christ. Okay, so Father, so pants is plus 12 on top of Father. Gown is minus 18 from Christ. By way of comparison, dress was minus 12 from Christ. So this is a glaring confirmation. We did this earlier when I went in depth. Minus 12. That is so glaring. Okay, for Father and Christ. Okay, so Father owns the pants. Christ owns, or Christ takes the glory for the word gown, or the word dress, which is of course worn by a female. And so you put the two together and it's this perfect harmony. But the one is supposed to submit to the other. The Father is on top. The Father leads. Amazing. So pants plus dress, of course, equals 135, which equals Father plus Christ, and then this is going to be 6 points lower, 129. Amazing. Just perfect. Perfect. So we got the word gown. The neckline of a gown. Well, the neckline was +1 on top. Defines the feeling and tone of the dress. Be sure to find different necklace units from the scraps. Boy, you could solve all those. Ay caramba. Amazingly, halter is like flawless for father and mother, but I'm talking about Father God here. That's actually a disturbing set of letters. I'm actually amazed at how halter is like really perfect for father. And honestly, if you're going to pull off a more modest wedding, which I'd say most, believers would probably do, you'd probably choose halter. You don't have to, of course, but halter is flawless for father. That's amazingly glaring. It's like letter for letter, screaming out father. Just the F got changed into an L. The rest of the letters equal father. So a halter gown is simply another Father Christ combo. In fact, it equals 1, 2, 3. You've seen this all over the place. Sweetheart is, I'm just preaching terms. You don't have to follow I'm not fashions, whatever. But sweetheart is father. Okay, what else? What other terms we got here? Sleeve is parallels Christ. Bodice refers to the area of the gown above the waist. +2 as well. Waistline is father. Silhouette. So there's a lot of things that knit together here, back and forth, to glorify Father in Christ. Like bodice knits together with neckline. And then waistline knits together with silhouette. And it also knits together, waistline, +1 for father, knits together with bodice. Mermaid, that's crazy. A ball gown, that's hilarious. And then, yeah. Skirt and train are very obvious, they both parallel Christ. And because the skirt follows behind, like the Christ was following his Father. He was perfectly obedient. So the word skirt and the word dress and the word train are glaring for Christ. Like look at the letters. You got the R and the I, the T of Christ. The word skirt and the word train. Okay, they follow behind. Okay, so they point to Christ mathematically, the skirt and the train. And then technically they are being pulled from the waistline binding. And so waistline is actually flawless in its design for father, just like neckline. This is so cool because the waistline, this is a revelation, this is good stuff now. The waistline is on top of the lower part of the dress. Everything just falls graciously from the holding that happens at the waistline. And then similar with the neckline. That's the top part. Father is on top. So neckline, and that's based on the word line, okay, which gives the father offset. Perfect, the word line for father. And then waist and neck both divided by 3. And then, so not surprisingly, the bodice follows or is beneath the neckline. So you have a Father Christ combo twice in the major sections of a wedding dress. So neckline on top, beneath that bodice, and then you have waistline on top of this train, and then you have train and skirt underneath. So let's get those terms on the table. So waistline for father plus train, and then we'll do the other one, waistline plus skirt. you can hit a lot of things out of the park here, because there was a lot of words we already hit. Dress and gown. Like if you want to refer to the flowing bottom part of a dress as any one of these terms, the train, the skirt, the dress, or the gown. But what is on top? Well, the waistline is on top. In fact, waistline equals love, Father. And the letters and strokes both divide by 3, just like the word Father. So that is a miracle. That waistline points to Father, and in detail. So a lot of things to point out here. So waistline equals love, Father. Father plus 54, the greatest commandment. And that's accomplished in 9 letters and 21 strokes. Okay, remember, Father is accomplished in 6 letters and 18 strokes. Everything divides by 3. Okay. It's very easy to find love out of that. There's the famous word sant, as in saint, is one way of finding love. The rest equals Father. Okay. Furthermore, the WE bookends on waistline equal the dead center of Father. So you can really hit this one. Or the WA equals the bookends of Father, and it just keeps getting 40 plus 18. The IS also equals the dead center of Father, very famous way of doing that. What is WEN? 19 plus 42. Wow. I'll just go on this painting here. There was your love, and then team gold here. Well, the I plus the I equals the R, and then the L equals the FAE, and the rest equals love perfectly. So Father owns the word waistline. But now from the waist, but the even cooler thing that I want to point out is the number of +2s in Father exceeds the number of +1s by 2 exactly, just like the letters in waistline. In fact, I've seen God do this everywhere. He's just added 1 letter to each category of the 3 categories, maintaining perfect balanced offset from Father. So in Father you have 3 +2s, 2 that divide by 3 and 1 +1. In waistline he just adds 1 letter to each of the 3 categories, so the offset is maintained perfectly from Father. So Father completely owns the word waistline. Okay? But Father is on top. Okay, and Christ is beneath. So what comes beneath the waistline? Well, clearly the skirt, the train, the dress, also called as the silhouette, and the gown. And so now we can just hit these one at a time to see what they are. Man, they're gorgeous Father Christ combos. Like I'm seeing all these 3s in the calculator that we don't. That is screaming. That's waistline plus skirt is love, 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 half love. Remember, this was Christ plus Father right there. Wow. Oh yeah, that's because skirt equals Christ. So that's a great word to choose. That's so glaring, because remember, Father plus Christ is love, love, half a love. And then waistline was love, Father, added another love. So waistline plus skirt. Waistline on top, skirt beneath. Father's on top, skirt is following. Do you see how the skirt just follows? Like, the waistline is in control. It's going where it wants to go. And the skirt is just following. It's saying, yes, I am perfectly following you. I am attached to you, and I am just going wherever you go. I am literally in perfect following, perfect obedience to you. That is what Jesus was. That is what Christ was and is to the Father. Christ is the skirt that was attached to his Father. He was following his Father. He was perfectly obedient to his Father. And he did not turn to the right or to the left, but he simply followed his Father. He was perfectly submitted, perfectly submissive, and perfectly obedient. Now that is an amazing marriage. If you have a man that is perfectly, really well connected to God, enough, you get the idea. Okay, so waistline plus dress now. We'll just see more of the beauty. Man, beautiful 3s. These differ by 3. These all differ by 3. This is 171. This is 177. This is 174. And that was what we had. That was awesome, solving the waistline for Father. And that just made perfect sense, because the waistline is where the dress attaches and is controlled by the person. And then the skirt is just flowing. And the word flow parallels Christ. Just like the word follow. The word follow and flow are perfect for Christ. And you have pure plus threes in front of a single plus two, just like pointing to Christ. Okay? Okay. Christ followed his Father. He flowed behind his Father. The skirt just flows. It doesn't have any power of its own. It has no power. It is completely subject to, it's just following the Father, the waistline. This is good theology. This is wonderful, wonderful preaching. Detailed. Waistline. I'm in love with the waistline, aren't you? Father owns the waistline. And that's where they do a lot of decoration from what I'm seeing here. Flowers and all sorts of... okay, the waistline of a gown is important because it is a focal point. I'm going to preach another great gem. Focal point is a Father-Christ combo. Very obvious. Very obvious. Focal, good night. Point, Christ. Focal point equals 111, Father-Christ combo. Focal point of the dress. Different body types will look dramatically better in certain waistlines. For instance, an empire waistline will add length to a petite figure. Very true. Very true. Wherever you bind the waistline, oh man, it's critical. So Father takes the waistline. We can put silhouette together with waistline. I think that's reasonable, because the silhouette is technically a part of the gown that follows behind the waistline. Wow, that's a double of 1, 2, 3. Like I've seen Father Christ combos galore that equal 1, 2, 3. But in this case, it equals 2, 4, 6, which is a double of 1, 2, 3. So that's very strong, very good. Very awesome Father Christ combo. Father gets the waistline, Christ gets the silhouette in this instance. And you can just, you can even put the word, Father, follow. Follow Father. That's what Jesus did. And an obvious 3 faster. Waistline plus the following. Okay. Wow. Wow. A cathedral train. Wow. Bustling the train is an act of servanthood. Well, bustling parallels Christ, just like train. Wow. Wow. Now, I have to preach that bride, the word bride parallels Christ, and the word bridegroom, which is the official name for the groom according to the King James, which I believe parallels Father. So you put the bridegroom together with the bride, and it's a Father-Christ combo. In fact, it equals God bless you, 144, very nice. Yeah, and there's Father, like sitting. Yeah, Father's right. I'm going to confirm it to you. Father's sitting right in the center of the word bridegroom. For those that want to argue with what the groom is supposed to be called, he's actually supposed to be called the bridegroom. And the bride is the bride. Okay? And bride parallels Christ. Bridegroom parallels Father. And but there's Father at the dead center of bridegroom. And then even the bookendings, just like in Father, make pure threes. No less, that's where the 48 obviously comes from. It's just perfect. Okay. And furthermore, that bookending continues down here, so that this inner center, this is going to really push it to you. The inner center of bridegroom is the inner center of Father. Okay. So here's your 34 right there. Wow. And then the IO, which both divide by 3, just like the FR, both divided by 3, make your 24. That is a miracle. So I just found Father glaringly in the dead center of the letters bridegroom. So that is what you're supposed to refer to the male getting married at the wedding. He is called the bridegroom, and Jesus told us that. It's in the English King James Bible, and Jesus is sovereign over that translation. And bride is, of course, the term for the female. But look at father sitting in the word bridegroom. Okay. So, there you go. Wow. D-E-G. This is so beautiful. Like other things to notice, this E-G makes double six, like the A-E flanking, and then the D-R makes 22, 6 less than this. It's just a perfect interlock. And then, amazingly, the R and the O flanking that, he adds to 33. So now you've got the Father, like the letters the Father, sitting at the dead center of bridegroom. Like this just keeps getting better and better. The Father, as in God the Father. Look at that. I've just painted it for you. The Father. The equals R-O in green, 33. And all this equals in the center. The Father clearly is at the center of bridegroom. Wow. That is awesome. That is so majestic and expensive and beautiful. And then the BM adds 15, another king bonus for 3s there. And then bride parallels Christ because you have the 2 plus 2s in identical positions. It's very glaring how bride points to Christ. It's just screaming. And you even love the fact that you need to have 2 syllables like bridegroom, father, bridegroom, father, 5 letters plus 5 letters, 3 letters plus 3 letters, father, bridegroom. That's the official name for the guy at the wedding. Now, if you wanted, you could preach on the truth that the bride and the groom come together beneath the one and only God the Father and then are happily married to make this gorgeous +1 combo that exists purely for God the Father alone. Like what God the Father hath joined together, let not man put asunder. So you can also preach on that. Like God the Father is above the bride and the groom coming together beneath his sacred name, Father. And it's all very holy, and it's all very ordained, and it's all very perfect. So that's another beautiful gem to preach if you choose to go the route that you call the bride, and the groom, and put the two of them together. And God the Father is sovereign over the whole marriage. Okay. Isn't that awesome? That's very awesome. But I'm here to point out, I personally believe bridegroom points to the male, as Jesus declared in the Bible, and bride is the female. And look at how bride, all by itself, points to Christ. Okay. All right. Look at this. It's very obvious. The 2 plus 2s occupy the same positions, BH, BH. The 2 plus 1s occupy the same position. And then the RI equals the RI, the 2 letters that divide by 3 in order. So it's very glaring. And then the C is your bonus 3 in front of Christ. So it's very gorgeous how Christ owns the word bride. Okay, very perfect. Well glorified. That was awesome. I've never made a painting. That was awesome. I mean, we could just appreciate that a little longer. Get that on video. Maybe that'll come into the thumbnail. But that's gorgeous. By the way, the current date and time that all this is being done is right there, just for historic purposes. All right, let's keep going because this is epic. Solving all this stuff. It's very. So amazingly, the hem. Talk about things that follow. This is what you call the train, the skirt, or the hem. So hem is a very tidy word that parallels Christ with the 2 plus 2 is the 1 plus 1. And so the hem just simply follows. Christ followed, Father who's on top of the waistline, okay. And then how does neckline compare to waistline? Because we had the neckline joined with the bodice. But how does neckline compare to waistline? Let's see. 73 and 112. This is love Father. This is Father plus 15. Okay. Okay. Cool. So in both cases, the neckline is on top, and the waistline, and we'll just choose skirt because that equals Christ. Good enough. This is love plus 3. This is love plus love plus love plus half love. So, but Father's on top. That's the message. The neckline and the waistline are on top for the glory of God the Father. Okay. And then tiara is +1, crown is +1, flower is +1. Those will go on top. Hairs is +1. The top of the human head is called the vertex or the bergma or the apex. All of those words are +1 because Father's on top. God the Father. Okay. Any other terms that we can solve in this realm here? Essentially, it's a wrap. Wrap is +1 for Father. And what else? I think we've done pretty good. I mean, the train, the neckline. I mean, really, yeah, we solved some of the biggest terms. If you want, the train follows from the waistline or the neckline. You can put these two together for Christ and Father. Excuse me, what did I say? Wow, that equals 240 perfectly. A king number for 3. The train, the waistline. You can do the same thing with the neckline and all the other words I did. Just 201, very famous number in world history. Okay, I think we hit a lot of the big terms. I think that's done a fair bit. I'll just get a couple sources and that's fine. What is that hollow to floor? Or the height? Alright, and people can follow my steps and just solve other terminology and all the different types. It's crazy how many different choices there are. Alright, I think we've done a fair good job of that. Okay. And then more important than, and then they exchange vows, which is +1 for Father, words, and then typically rings. So all these things are +1 for Father. Vows equals words. That's really the sacred part of the W. So obvious, the WO, and then the V equals the RD. Vows equals words. But all these are +1s for Father. And that equals 67 of water. And you can just get Father in the rings just like that. Okay. Alright, so we solved a lot of great fashion wedding dress terminology. That was amazing to review that. Mind-blowing find, mind-blowing painting, absolutely gorgeous. Should be done in gold and silver and precious stones. That was mind-blowing solving that. But technically, like when I think about clothing, like what's on top, what supports in the human body, what really is supporting your clothing for the most part? That's the highest part. Well, it's the shoulders. The shoulders are on top, and so shoulders parallels the Father, and we talked about that earlier. And in fact, that's really cool. Right near the center of shoulder is the word the, and then where you find Father outside of that. You can do that for homework. Oh, wow. There, it just jumped out at me. Look at how I just found the Father in shoulders. Wow. And it's very pretty. It's very perfect. So there's Father staring you in the face in shoulders. There you go. perfect find. Wow, there it is again. And a very famous find, because that's just like the STS in order. S and then O plus an E equals T and then S on the end. That God has done everywhere for his sacred name Father. So there you go. Father gets the first letter, he gets the last letter. Of course, S is +1 for Father. It's like his favorite letter everywhere to pluralize things. And S, anywhere it appears, points to Father. So, not surprisingly, Father takes the glory for your shoulders, which is the top part of the human body that supports any and all clothing. Usually, I mean, things are getting strapless these days, but most people feel safer when they have something hanging on their shoulders. All right. And, yeah, the T, the O and the E equals the T there. An S is an A plus an R, and then the other S is the F plus the H, E. And then what's amazing to me about shoulders, as I thought wasn't good enough, is that if you want to talk about the Father, this UL equals the. And so I've already painted the Father, and then you get this bonus 30 on top. There you go. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.